the people.
Alex Warren Green on behalf of Mr. Magoo. Mr. Magoo, could you state your name again, please?
Daniel Magoo.
All right.
Your Honor, I think we had finished with our officer, Officer Corey. I don't have any additional witnesses.
All right. Any? Go ahead. You can have your conversation. You might want to mute the mic.
Your Honor, no witnesses from the defense.
All right. I have a motion.
Your Honor, I move for bind over as to count 1 and let counts, I think it's 2 and 3 on this web follow. I do believe we presented sufficient evidence to establish by probable cause a circumstantial case that the defendant was the operator of a motor vehicle on the date and time in question at the location in question, that he did have an alcohol content of 0.08 grams or more. Your Honor, the people were able to present evidence that there was a vehicle crash, that the windshield of that vehicle had been hit from the inside. There was blood and there was hair consistent with the defendant's hair. And the defendant had a head wound on the front of his head. And that, along with being at the scene of the crash, I do believe is sufficient circumstantial evidence to establish by probable cause that this matter should proceed to trial. I'll reserve any further arguments for rebuttal.
Your Honor, the defense would object to bind over in this matter. In making the bind over decision, we'd ask the court to consider the lack of direct evidence linking Mr. Magoo to operating that vehicle. Your Honor, I have nothing further at this time. For the record, we are objecting to bind over.
I think there is certainly, when one looks at the exhibits, particularly exhibits 1, 2, 3, are the vehicle in which the defendant is around, which has crashed into a pole, and that the pole, quite frankly, did not give way much. And then what also would establish, then there's a second piece of establishing the defendant was operating that vehicle, or People's Exhibits 4, specifically 4, which is clear indication of the spider webbing, and what Officer Corey testified to are the damage to the windshield, the circular damage above the driver's side, to the window, as indicated, a circular pattern, not or similar to certainly what this court has seen over the years of individuals who are unrestrained in vehicles who are then involved in a crash, alcohol related or not, where their head strikes the windshield. And then exhibits 7, 8, 9, and also 10 that show blood and also injuries to the cranial area or the head area of the defendant, along also with Officer Corey's testimony regarding the hair, although not analyzed, but certainly the color, texture, hair, his observations regarding the hair that is in the windshield, all certainly point to and would give rise to probable cause that the defendant was operating that motor vehicle at the time of that crash. Additionally, then there is testimony regarding blood test results, which then occurred at the hospital later that day, indicating a blood alcohol content of 0.127, which, absent anything else, could be used to presume that that was his blood alcohol content at the time of the operation of the motor vehicle. So that the record is clear, even to the extent the defendant's unlawful escape from custody at the time from the hospital may go to the weight to be given to that blood alcohol result, but does not negate that blood alcohol result. The court is sufficiently satisfied that the people have sustained their burden of showing by probable cause that the defendant did operate a motor vehicle under the influence of alcohol or intoxicants. So therefore, for those reasons, the court would bind the defendant over on count one with the stipulations to the previous convictions of the defendant, with counts 2 and 3 following.
Your Honor, do you want to proceed on the arraignment?
Yes, let's just do that now.
We would waive formal reading of the information, stand mute.
Defendant having waived formal reading, standing mute, court will enter not guilty plea as to all 3 counts. Pretrial in this case will be
October 9th at 1:30 with Judge Slay.
October 9th, 2025, 1:30 before Judge Slay. That case bond will continue.
May I find information, Your Honor?
Yes, you may. Have her exhibits back. Oh, you had an extra that you.
I had extra information.
That's fine. Court also now calls the case of People versus Daniel Magoo. That's case 25F30979.
That's called the people.
Now it's Warren Green on behalf of Mr. Magoo. Mr. Magoo, could you please state your name for the court?
Daniel Magoo. All right. Ready to proceed on this case?
We are, Your Honor. Prior to beginning, I will inform the court, and I did inform defense counsel, I do intend to, if the proofs bear it out, to add a count of receiving or obstructing officer. And I believe defense counsel is aware of that. That would be contrary to 75081D as in dog 1.
Okay.
Right.
And Your Honor, to also provide notice of this, notice of removal pursuant to 28 U.S.C. 1455. This case has also been removed to the United States District Court of Eastern District of Michigan under case number 25-12441 for Fourth Amendment violations along with others.
This court has no knowledge, as I last case, of any removal, has not been notified of removal, and so has not been presented anything with removal, nor anything presented which would show a procedure in which this state action would be removed to federal court. So for those reasons, while you want to say it all the time on the record,
That's it.
to the extent it's a motion of any type, that's denied. You may call your first witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. People call Colin Cheney.
Sir, please come forward and be sworn.
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I do. State spell your first and last name for the record, please.
Colin Cheney, COLLINCHENEY.
All right, you may inquire.
Thank you, Your Honor. Sir, how are you employed?
Michigan State Police is a trooper,
How long have you been employed as a trooper with Michigan State Police?
about 2.5 years.
Do you have any prior law enforcement experience before you were a trooper?
I do not.
Were you so employed on or about July the 3rd, 2025?
Yeah.
What were you working that day?
That was road patrol.
And where were you road patrol at?
Washington.
Do you recall what part of Washtenaw County you were doing road patrol at about 7:45 in the morning? Were you traveling westbound on I-94?
Yes.
And is that location in Washtenaw County, state of Michigan?
Correct.
Did you notice any vehicles while you were traveling westbound on I-94?
Yes.
What did you see?
Coming up near westbound on 994, I observed a red sedan that looked like it was traveling faster than the rest of the traffic on the freeway.
What did you do?
I caught up to it, and when I got closer to it, my radar picked up the speed reading.
And what was it reading?
So 90 miles per hour.
What did you do next?
I got behind the vehicle, activated my overhead light to conduct a traffic stop on the vehicle.
What happened after you activated your overhead lights?
Shortly after, the vehicle merged over to the shoulder, got down to around 40 miles an hour and rolled for half mile to a mile before coming to a complete stop at about 40 miles per hour.
What happened after the vehicle came to a complete stop?
I approached the vehicle, spoke to the sole occupant of the driver, of the vehicle, and told him I was Trooper Ching with Michigan State Police and requested his driver's license.
Did you see what position that person was inside of the vehicle? Was he operating the vehicle? Do you see the person that was operating that vehicle in the courtroom today?
I do.
Can you tell me where he's sitting and what he's wearing, please?
He's sitting to your right in a green jumpsuit.
Your Honor, may the record reflect the witness identify this defendant?
No objection, Your Honor.
Record shall so reflect.
When you made contact with the defendant and asked him for his driver's license, what happened next? Did he say anything to you?
He did.
What did he say to you?
I can't exactly recall what it was that he said, but somewhere early on, he advised me that I did not have the right to stop him. And actually, right after I asked for his driver's license, he asked what my reason for the stop was.
What did you say?
I told him that I observed him on my radar. I observed his speed on my radar that was over the speed limit.
What happened after you told him that?
I requested his driver's license again.
Did he give it to you?
He did not.
What happened after he didn't give you the driver's license?
He stated that I did not have the right to stop him because he was traveling in a private capacity and not a commercial capacity.
What did you do?
I advised him that he is required to provide a driver's license at the request of a peace officer.
Did he provide you a driver's license?
He did not.
Did you observe anything about the vehicle's license plate?
The vehicle's license plate did not look familiar to me. I had not had a chance to actually run the plate.
Okay. So while you're at the side of the car and you're speaking with him, are you continuing to request his driver's license?
Multiple times.
Is he ever providing it to you?
No.
How long do you think, well, I want to ask that question. As this is going on, what are you doing?
While I'm speaking with him, I requested for back because he's not being very compliant.
You asked for what?
Backup.
Backup? Okay. At some point, did you return back to your vehicle?
I did.
And what did you do when you got back there?
I attempted to run the plate. Did not seem that the plate existed, essentially.
What did you notice about the plate once you were able to examine it?
It was not registered to any specific state.
Do you recall what it said on it?
It's a diplomat on the top, non-expiring on the bottom, and I believe it said non-commercial.
Were you ever able to get any information about the vehicle?
Not on the plate.
How did you get information?
I read the VIN of the vehicle.
Were you able to find current registration for the vehicle when you ran the VIN?
I did not.
Did you request that the defendant continue to provide you his driver's license throughout your interactions with him? Did you ever ask him to get out of the car? When did that happen?
On my initial contact, after receiving a driver's license multiple times, I advised him to step out of the car. And after going back to my vehicle, coming back, I advised him he needed to step out of the car. And none of those were followed.
Did you eventually get him out of the car?
Yes.
How?
I told him he had one more chance to step out of the vehicle on his own. And he said he was not stepping out of the vehicle. So I pushed his window, which Initial contact window was all the way down. After backup had arrived, I believe sometime after, while I was going back to the car, he had cracked the window. I put my hands in the window and I shoved the window down into the car. I reached in, unlocked the door, and unbuckled his seatbelt. At that point, he stepped out of the vehicle and was handcuffed.
And you didn't break the window, you just pushed it down?
It may be damaged. I did not break the glass.
I should say you didn't shatter it with your stick.
Correct.
Thank you. Thank you for correcting me, Trooper. Were you wearing a body camera on the day that this happened?
I was.
Was it functional and operational?
Yes.
Have you had a chance to review the recordings from that day?
Yes.
And Your Honor, with permission, the people would like to propose to admit Exhibit 1, which is the body cam, but I'm only going to play select portions of it.
Yes. Is there any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right.
The first segment is about 8 minutes long, Your Honor.
Before playing that, the license plate, did it say, was it black and white? Do you recall? If you recall.
It was either black or dark blue, white, something along that line.
And it said diplomat across the top.
Correct.
And then at some point at the lower, maybe the left, right-hand corner, talked about it being non-expiring or something along those lines.
Yes.
Oh, joy. Oh,
May I, Your Honor?
yes, you may.
Thank you so much. And this is got sound, so I apologize if it's too loud at first. I'll adjust it.
Well, down here on Parkway, it looks like you can use the intersection of slow, blue, triangle, left, right, the elementary for that for it. There would be a replacement car. Stop. We don't know the traffic is there. Stop. What's that? My radar, sir. I need your driver's license. My radar is, I want to use my vehicle. Where is your driver's license? No, it's not matter what the tax either. A violation speed. Here's your driver's license. Okay, where's your driver's license? Yes, you do. Okay, traffic stop. By law, you have to identify yourself. Yes, sir. Traffic stop. Violation of the law. I stopped you. I'm conducting an investigation of the violation. You must identify yourself. According to Michigan law. So you said a violation. Law. It's not commercial. It doesn't matter if you're going to get ice cream at McDonald's. I can stop you for speed. Where is your driver's license? Okay, where is your driver's license? Yes, you do. Where's your driver's license? We'll step out of the car, please. I'm not calling my supervisor. I'm gonna have a supervisor down here. They're a long ways away. We're not gonna sit here and wait for a supervisor. So. I understand that. If you cooperate with me, I need your identification to get you out of here. Yes, I do. Oh, and you're required to identify yourself to a police officer. I'm not trying. It does not matter what capacity you're traveling in. It does not matter what capacity you are traveling in. What about the plate? What are the plates supposed to be? I know nothing about that plate means. What does that mean? That means nothing to me. Who are you? Trooper Chief, which is great for me. So I work with a brand coach, my back number is 1245. Now, if you don't identify yourself, you will identify yourself. Yes, sir. From a radar though? Yes, sir. It's mounted in my vehicle, according to everybody. You know that state troopers, police officers all around the world, to seek to engage them because they're pointing these guns. Okay, well, I haven't experienced that, so I feel for those state troopers. What's your name? You don't want to believe in what is your name? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I am here on the side of the road with you. You need to identify yourself. Yes, you did. That is why I'm stopping you. Why did you roll? For what reason? What reason do I have to call my supervisor? Because you don't want to listen to me? If you are not obeying the law? So, you identify yourself. Go to the dog test. Let me see the dog test. Let's see. That's hoping you. I'm not doing that. Now. Identification now. You step on the page. Yes, you have. That's why I'm stopping. Okay. Do you want to say anything? You are escalating the situation. You need to identify yourself to me. I'm not going to argue with you anymore. You will step out of this vehicle. You will identify yourself. I ask you to cooperate with that defense you have on the road. Next trooper team, I expect that. Match number 1245. Why am I calling my supervisor? I'm not going to tell him. Let's have you call him right now. I'm not going to tell my supervisor. See my nation. 90 miles an hour on the freeway where it's marked 70. I don't know who you are. You are. You will identify yourself to me. Identify yourself. You take your name. What's your name? Do not leave.
And Your Honor, skipping ahead to about the 33-minute mark, close as I can get it.
All right.
What's up? What's going on? Okay, the criminal? Okay, I'm not worried about that because I'm acting with the law right now. People are not acting with the law. one more chance to step out of the car on your own. You don't get one right now. You don't get one right now. You'll get one before you see a judge. Yes, you will get one before you see a judge. You have the right to remain silent if that's what you would like before talking until you talk to a lawyer. No, not right now. Step out of the car. That was your last chance. Hey, all right. Alright. Put your phone down. I'm not coming out. Step out of the car. Try and fix your vehicle. He said I will keep my phone. Oh, put your phone down. Leave it recording. Stay here.
Trooper Cheney, were you able to eventually ascertain the identity of the driver, the defendant?
I was.
And did you check him in lean?
I did.
What did you discover?
He does not have a valid driver's license in the state of Michigan.
Did he have any warrants at the time that you pulled him over?
He did. To correct myself, he didn't have a valid driver's license at all that I saw right.
Not at all. Okay, thank you. After you arrested the defendant, what happened next?
I asked him if he had any reason that he needed to go to the hospital for. He advised that he had rapid heartbeat.
Did you go to the hospital?
We went to Chelsea Hospital.
The Trinity Health in Chelsea? Is that right? Or Chelsea Hospital?
Just Chelsea Hospital.
Okay. And after, was he cleared by medical staff and taken to the jail?
After receiving medical assistance at Chelsea Hospital, we went to Washington County Jail.
May I have a moment, Your Honor?
Just so that I'm clear, he told you he had rapid heartbeat. You took him to the hospital. He refused medical treatment.
Correct.
And then he, okay, all right.
Here, I'll pass the witness.
Cross-examination.
Your Honor, before I begin, may I very briefly confer with opposing counsel?
Okay.
Good afternoon, Trooper. My name is Alex Warren Green. I represent Mr. Magoo in this matter. So, Trooper, this was on July 3rd of this year, right?
Correct.
Day before Independence Day, right?
Correct.
Tons of cars on the road. And this was on I-94 in Scio, right?
Yes.
And that is a 70-mile-an-hour limited access highway or freeway, right?
Yes.
And in your experience as a state trooper, you know that conducting traffic stops on the freeway is dangerous, right?
Yes.
There's high speeds, distracted driving, right? There's large commercial vehicles like tractor trailers, and like you already said, lots of traffic, right?
Yes.
And another reason that it's dangerous is because there's limited space on the shoulder to conduct the traffic stop, right?
Correct.
Trooper, on your direct examination, we saw video from your body-worn camera. In addition to the body-worn camera, you have a dashboard-mounted camera, right?
Yes.
And the dashboard-mounted camera activates when you activate the overhead lights, right?
Correct.
And when you activate it, it captures 30 seconds back in time, right?
Correct.
Okay. And Your Honor, I believe this is by stipulation. I would ask to play a portion of the trooper's dash camera. I'd move to admit it.
It's defense A.
This would be defense A, Your Honor.
Okay, go ahead.
Trooper, can you see that on the screen right in front of you?
Yes.
Trooper, I'm just going to pause right there. This is your dashboard mounted camera from July 3rd, right?
Correct.
And there's some writing on the screen, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, Trooper, I paused at exactly 30 seconds. This is when you activated your overhead lights, correct?
It should be very close. Yes.
Pausing the video at 1 minute and 18 seconds. Trooper, you'd agree with me that both you and Mr. Magoo are in a stationary position at this time, right?
Correct.
And Your Honor, I'm going to take down the exhibit at this point. Trooper, after you reach that stationary position, he never put the vehicle back into motion, did he?
No.
Well, at least for the duration of the traffic stop, he didn't put it back into motion, did he?
No, he did not.
Okay. And the patrol vehicle you have, it has a mounted radar system, right? That's mounted on your dashboard.
Yes.
And that radar system, you can obtain a printed document that tells you the readout obtained at a particular time. Is that right?
I'm not aware if I'm able to do that. I've never been taught how to do that or seen any of that.
So from your mounted radar, you have never obtained a printed document suitable for court. Is that your testimony?
Yes.
So
I'm not aware if it is possible or not. I just have never done it and do not know how to.
understood. Thank you, Trooper. You followed Mr. Magoo's vehicle for a period of time before activating your lights, right?
Yes.
And once you did activate your lights, he did in fact decelerate, right?
Yes.
And shortly after that, he moved over to the shoulder of the road, right?
Yes.
And then you following Mr. Magoo went over an overpass, right?
Yes.
And that overpass has metal barriers on either side of it, right?
Yes.
And after you get to the end of the overpass bridge, that's when he brought the car to a stop, very shortly after you got to the other side of the bridge, right?
I wouldn't necessarily agree.
Well, Trooper, you'd agree with me that the entire time after you turned your lights on, following Mr. Magoo was under 1 minute, right?
Yes. With my lights on, behind it, yes.
And on something like an overpass, there's even less space to conduct your traffic stop, right?
Typically, yes.
Because of the metal barriers, if something were to happen, you can't just jump into the ditch or the grass, right?
Yes.
So after you're stationary, Mr. Magoo's stationary, you walk up to the window, right?
Yes.
And you two have a discussion, right?
Yes.
And Mr. Magoo didn't hit the gas pedal, did he?
No,
He didn't open the door and start running down the freeway, did he?
no,
He didn't take a swing on you or any other officers that responded, did he?
no,
He didn't reach for anything on your utility belt, right? Your Honor, if I may have one moment. Thank you. Trooper, the reason for this traffic stop wasn't because of a license plate, was it?
not at the time.
And the reason for initiating the traffic stop wasn't because of an invalid or expired license, was it? It was for speed, right?
Yes,
So at the time you initiated this traffic stop, you hadn't witnessed any crime occur in your presence. Would you agree with me?
other than a speed violation, I did not.
Thank you for answering my questions, Your Honor. I have nothing further at this time.
Any redirect?
Trooper Cheney, if you recall, what did the defendant tell you he was doing when he was driving on the shoulder and not pulling over and stopping for you?
He advised he was emailing his summons for a trial that he has against prosecutors and magistrates in Washington.
Thank you. Nothing further.
Your Honor, very briefly on that.
Yeah, go ahead. That opened up a whole bunch of stuff. Go on.
Thank you, Your Honor. Trooper, on behalf of Mr. Magoo, after you saw this plate, you didn't call the embassy, did you? You didn't call the Department of Transportation, did you?
No.
All right. Your Honor, I have nothing further at this time.
No redirect, thank you, Your Honor. Excuse.
Trooper, you may step down. Thank you, sir.
No objection.
It's witnesses.
Your Honor, at this time, we will move to add count 6, assaulting, resisting, or obstructing a police officer for Trooper Colin. And I have no additional, contrary to 75081T1, I have no additional witnesses at this time.
The defense calls no witnesses, Your Honor.
All right. And response to their motion to bind over.
Thank you, Your Honor. The defense would object to bind over in this particular case. Your Honor, the court has seen the video. We are asking the court to consider the evidence here. Our position is that it is insufficient even at a probable cause standard. The video, the dash camera specifically showed that after the troopers' overhead lights went on, Mr. Magoo did make an effort to decelerate. He moved over. After they went across the overpass bridge, he did bring his car to a stop. Your Honor, he didn't need to be physically extracted from that vehicle. He did get out. He got arrested without incident. For the record, Your Honor, we would be objecting to bind over.
Go ahead.
Your Honor, I do believe we have laid more than sufficient evidence to sustain both felony counts that have been presented today. Furthermore, Your Honor, the people will note the extreme restraint that the trooper showed while dealing with the defendant and not escalating the situation, continuing to try to resolve it as peacefully as possible. I think the court saw in People's 1, the 33 mark where the court could clearly see Lieutenant Kratzenberg, and there were 2 other officers from Chelsea PD as well as an additional trooper who had all come to the scene to help. I do believe we have presented sufficient evidence for at least what we have. And I do think there's an argument that there's more than one resisting and obstructing based on what's been presented today for the 2 different interactions that were shown. But I've added the 1. I have nothing further. Thank you, Your Honor.
Court, after hearing the testimony in the case, would agree with the people that there's sufficient evidence to show that the defendant committed the offense of fleeing and eluding 4th degree. And I think it should be clear that the driver's obligation is to hold their vehicle over when those overheads go on behind them. He did not really do that. Prior to getting what's left out of the defendant's argument is he's traveling quite a ways prior to him even getting to that overpass. There are other places, if the argument's being made, that he couldn't have safely pulled over. When you truly look at it, there are other places that he could have pulled over, could have done so safely. And anybody that's seen a vehicle pulled over, yes, the trooper actually, or the officers actually put themselves and their vehicle more at risk because of the way that they line their vehicle up when pulling a vehicle over. So that vehicle could have stopped well before, quite frankly, the overpass, and well before the time that it did. So I don't find that argument very persuasive, and would indicate that the people have sustained a burden regarding the fourth degree fleeing and eluding. Also, just noted, the trooper, his voice is telling him, it was in People's Exhibit 1, he's sure he knows that Mr. Magoo can't hear him, or whoever's in that vehicle can't hear him, but he is saying, pull over. He's trying to implore that vehicle to pull over. So the court will bind the defendant over on count 1. With reference to the added count 6, the resisting and obstructing, I think it goes without being said that the restraint that this trooper showed was amazing. Probably one of the reasons I'm not a police officer. I don't think I could have shown that much restraint on the side of that road. That it seemed like forever before that door opened. The officer, the trooper, would have certainly been well within his rights to have acted, opened that door at some point in time. What was actually phenomenal is that he did not do that, that he left. He was not looking to indeed escalate it anymore. And it was just amazing to me. And only when it came down to the point that something indeed had to be done did the trooper take action. Quite frankly, that behavior is, I've always told people around the country, with all due respect to other state troopers and all of the places I've been, I think Michigan has the best. So, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. What he did was just amazing, because a lot of people, as the defense was pointing out, in a holiday time of travel, a lot of people were put in jeopardy, not by what the trooper did in pulling the vehicle over, not by the manner in which he pulled it over, but by, quite frankly, Mr. Magoo's obstinance in not answering the trooper and not complying with the order of the trooper. There are probably, and I think the people are right, that there's probably more than one resisting and obstructing here. Since the people aren't asking, I won't add an additional or 2 counts, or at least, of resisting and obstructing. I will only add 1 of resisting and obstructing as an added count 6. So defendant, so the record is clear, is bound over to stand trial on counts 1 and 6, those being the felony, with counts 2, 3. Yes, it's 2, 3, and 4 and 5 following as misdemeanors.
Your Honor, with respect to the Circuit Court of Raymond, we acknowledge receipt of the information, waive its reading, and stand mute.
Defendant having waived formal reading, standing mute. Court will enter a not guilty plea as to all 6 counts. Pre-trial in this matter will be
October 9th at 1:30 with Judge Slay.
October 9th, 2025, 1:30. Judge Slay.
Governor, I can have an amended information over by about noon tomorrow, adding that count 6. I unfortunately don't have one prepared right now.
That's fine.
Thank you.
Put that up there. Bond will continue. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Magoo, I'll come see you tomorrow.
What a ride! Now that we've reached the end of this intense courtroom sequence, let's break down exactly what just happened legally. strategically, and realistically. Because beneath all the chaos and confrontation, this hearing actually offers a textbook look at probable cause, traffic stop procedures, and how courts handle sovereign citizen-style arguments. First, let's start with the prosecution's foundation, circumstantial evidence. Many people misunderstand this term, assuming it means weak or inconclusive. In reality, circumstantial evidence can be incredibly powerful, especially when multiple indicators point in the same direction. Here, prosecutors emphasized the blood inside the crashed vehicle, the spider-webbed windshield consistent with an unrestrained driver's head impact, and the matching hair embedded in the glass. Add the defendant's head wound and his presence at the crash site, and you have a coherent narrative, one that strongly suggests he was operating the vehicle at the time of collision. The judge recognized this alignment and correctly noted that probable cause doesn't require absolute proof, only a reasonable basis to move forward. On the other side, the defense leaned heavily into the lack of direct evidence, meaning no eyewitness saw the defendant driving. That's true, but courts rarely require direct evidence unless the statute specifically demands it. And in DUI or OWI cases, it's extremely common for probable cause to be based on circumstantial markers like injuries, position of the defendant, vehicle damage, and BAC results. The defense objected properly to preserve the issue, but they knew the uphill nature of that fight. Speaking of the BAC, the .127 reading is significant, even though the defendant allegedly escaped custody at the hospital, which is a major issue in itself. The judge correctly pointed out that such behavior may affect the credibility or weight of the BAC result, not its The hospital draw still happened, it was still documented, and it still reflects impairment consistent with the prosecution's theory. Now, let's shift to the traffic stop portion in the second case. The trooper's testimony was clear and methodical, pacing the vehicle, radar confirmation, lights activated, and a driver refusing multiple lawful commands to produce a license or exit the vehicle. The mention of a diplomat plate with no state registration, combined with the defendant's argument that he was traveling privately and didn't need a license, fits a well-known category of arguments courts routinely dismiss. In the U.S., operating a motor vehicle on public roads is a regulated privilege, not a private activity exempt from state law. The trooper also followed protocol by requesting backup, attempting to verify the plate, and ultimately removing the non-compliant driver only. After multiple warnings, one of the strongest prosecution points in this segment is the defendant's refusal to provide ID paired with the suspicious license plate. Courts view refusal to identify during a lawful stop as a red flag, and the trooper's body cam footage supports his version of events. Meanwhile, the defense's strategy was smart: highlight road safety concerns, narrow the timeline, and show that the defendant did not act violently or flee. Those details help soften the perception of defiance and may influence negotiations later. Overall, the judge handled both cases firmly, cutting through procedural distractions like the attempted federal removal notice and keeping the focus on the evidentiary record. This is a strong example of how courts balance due process with practical experience, ensuring both sides are heard while maintaining legal standards. If you found this case as shocking as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns.